Okay, thank you. Give yourselves a hand. We did surround the Centennial Woods. Did we do it with love?
Yeah!
Thank you guys, we're all awesome. Our first speaker is going to be Deb Siamaka.
Thank you for organizing this peaceful protest, Terry and Robin. And thank you all for coming here today, for walking the talk, for showing our community that democracy is action. Because I believe that Pennsylvania is headed in the wrong direction on issues such as climate change and pipelines and fracking. We cannot be bystanders when our own government turns a blind eye to environmental destruction. In our own backyard, right here in Media, we have a similar problem. The Centennial development is one of the few open spaces left in Media Borough. If we cut down those trees, we are sending a message that development is our priority and that the desires of a few outweigh the will of the many. So what should we do? We must speak for these trees because we know their value. We must speak for these trees because they are an investment in our community and in our neighborhood. We must speak for these trees because they provide shade and they help with stormwater management and because it is the right thing to do. We must speak for these trees because it makes economic sense. I'm sure that you have all visited communities that have become nothing more than parking lots and pavement and houses. If Media's precious open space is eliminated, we will become but a pale reminder of the town we used to be. It is our duty as citizens to become active participants in our democracy. You are doing that here. Keep on attending council meetings. Keep on writing letters to the editor. Keep on talking to your neighbors and supporting Keep Media Green. Because government is not a spectator sport. The only way we can protect the environment and save our trees is for your voice to be loud and persistent and clear.
That's right.
As my hero John Lewis said, when you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have to speak up. You have to say something. You have to do something. Thank you for doing something here today.
You know, literature and art's a part of every movement that has ever been successful. And our next speaker, who is herself a renowned environmentalist and political activist, and her family are going to tell an incredible story of how she used children's literature to make environmental change and to call up Kathy Spar and her family now.
Hi everybody, thank you guys so much for coming out because this is how we make change. My name is Kathy Spar and I'm co-founder of what's known as We Speak for the Trees, which is exactly what we did today. It's the umbrella organization for what started out as Send the Lorax to DC and Send the Lorax to Harrisburg. So in 2017, after the election, I was really devastated about what was going to happen to the environment. As somebody who has a bachelor's degree in environmental science, I've spent a lot of time out studying what's happening to our planet. And so I decided that every legislator, Congress, and Senate needed a copy of the Lorax. And so I started fundraising and we were able to obtain enough copies to give one to every member of the House and Senate. And the women, the moms who joined in with me, we decided, well, you know what? This is an opportunity. This is a teaching moment for our children. So we brought them along. And all we do is stand in the hallways and ensure that there are no fist fights. why we guide them to the different offices. Before we go in, we talk about different pieces of legislation that are happening with the environment, and they pick one and they lobby for that piece of legislation, because you just can't go to a senator and say, hey, protect the earth. That's meaningless to them. It's really important to have an objective, and today our objective is to save the Centennial Woods. So we have visited Bob Casey and gotten pictures. Did you guys know that he has JFK's old office, Senate office? Well, there you go, he does. And he has a little montage to it. It's pretty cool. We also visited Mitch McConnell, who kindly sent his copy back to us, claiming it was an ethics violation. His, $7 book was an ethics violation. Okay, let's look at those pharmaceutical donations. So my biggest concern now is I don't know when we're next going to be able to go back to DC, considering the events of January 6th and other recent events, because we used to arrive with suitcases of books. So, everything is local. This is where it starts. It starts in your back door, and here we are advocating locally. And so it's important to bring your kids and show them how to do this. And I have my kids here today, and I drag them out. Some days they want to come and some days they don't. But it's important to bring them. And we are going to give copies of the Lorax to some people who we think need to read this book and think about the decisions that they are making. Because when the last tree is cut down, what are you going to be left with? We cannot eat money. We cannot. So that's why we came out here today, because we are going to advocate locally. And what I'm asking all of you guys to do is think about who you think needs a copy of the Lorax and let me know, because we will come out. I'm thinking some Pico people need a copy, and I probably will be talking to my buddy Ken Hemphill after this with Save Marple Green Space. So I just want to thank you guys for coming out. It's a beautiful day. It was a wonderful action, peaceful, beautiful, and thank you guys so much for coming out and advocating for your neighborhood, because this is how it works.
Thank you, Kathy.
My son Julian is going to read to you the last bit out of the Lorax as kind of a closing message for what we want to think about what we're doing moving forward.
Okay, give him a hand.
But now, says the Chancellor, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's gonna get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Chancellor. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last of them all. The last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffula seeds. And the truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
All right, this is the very last bit. I'm just gonna pick up on the message of the Lorax, which is, unless we care a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. No, it's not. We have to match that caring with action, and our action has to be focused right now on inspiring care on the part of our elected officials, because unless the borough cares enough to buy the Centennial Woods, we'll lose that shade that's protecting us from rising temperatures. Unless they care enough to buy the woods, we'll lose the carbon sequestration and the air purifying services of the trees. Unless the borough cares enough to buy the woods, we'll lose the stormwater mitigation services the trees provide. Unless the borough cares enough to buy the woods, we'll keep losing our precious wildlife habitat, and we'll lose the pollinator support that the trees provide. We'll lose the character of that lovely, quaint neighborhood that's bordered by quiet, peaceful, small woods. We'll lose and continue the gentrification of this town that is already losing its socioeconomic diversity with those luxury houses. Unless we care a whole awful lot and continue to act on that care
And unless our elected officials start representing the interests and the values of their constituents, things will get a whole lot worse like they did in the Lorax, if you know that story. So it is time to stop cutting down the woods here and everywhere, period, full stop. Here are the actions that you can take. We've talked about attending meetings. This is the vehicle for how your voice gets heard, and there are two really important ones coming up. Hallie, can you hold this up? Some of you know that the borough has initiated an open space planning process that is facilitated by a paid consultant. There's been an advisory board meeting over the last 9 months or so. The first public meeting about their draft open space plan is Thursday, April 29th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. You can register to participate in that meeting on the borough's website when it's up and on our website, keepmediagreen.org. We don't have the link yet. It is imperative that every single person who cares about saving those woods and about protecting open space in this borough participate in this public meeting. And you can say whatever you want to and speak from the heart, but please, please say, we want the borough to buy the Centennial Woods and preserve it. That has to be part of a recommendation in the open space plan that will support our movement. So if you get on and say nothing more than buy Centennial Woods, you will have played your part. The second action that we're asking people to take is to attend the next Planning Commission meeting on Tuesday, May 4th at 7:30, again on Zoom. This is when our Borough Planning Commission will be reviewing the newly resubmitted development plan for the 4 houses on Centennial. They have asked for several waivers and variances and exceptions to get around the things that would prevent them from developing on that site if they don't get those permissions. We need to be out in force at the Planning Commission saying, do not grant any waivers, special exceptions that facilitate this development. The borough has the opportunity and the right to turn down those requests. That puts rocks in the wheel. That is a critical part of our strategy. So those are the 2 meetings, the public open space meeting on the 29th, the Planning Commission meeting on the 4th, and of course, attending borough workshop and legislative meetings is always a help. If you have questions about our organization or this campaign, please explore our website, keepmediagreen.org. Here is the Venmo account if you can make a donation. There is also a PayPal account there if you want to go that way. There are fees that come out, but if that's what you're comfortable using, that's great. You guys can take a photo of any of this information with your phone, but all of you should be on our mailing list and we'll be getting reminders. And now we are coming to the conclusion where we're going to leave our special non-ethically violating gift messages to our elected officials. And now I'm going to unfurl a special wall hanging that we made as one of our messages and show you the books, and then we're going to walk around the corner. We're going to drop them off at that door, which is currently locked, but our elected officials know that those gifts and messages will be there for them.
Thank you, Robin. We did invite our mayor and all our council people to be here to accept their gifts. They all had previous engagements, amazingly. So Robin's unfurling the homemade banner that she made along with the help of some people. And we're giving it to our council and mayor as a gift. These are pictures of the Centennial Woods and some of our residents of our community also.
Oh my goodness.
And so here are the copies of the Lorax. They've been gift wrapped. Multiple people wrote personal messages to each of our borough council members and to the mayor, and also to the owner of B&G Development Corporation, B&G Properties, which is the equity owner of Centennial Woods. So here we go. We're just
Robin's going to go deliver the gifts. Thank you all for coming out.
Woo!
The rest of us, the ones that all donated.